And joining us from more in studio, Ambassador Alon Liel, the former head of the Israeli diplomatic mission to Turkey. But first, let's jump to Istanbul and speak to I-24 News contributor Yassine Ekin. Yassine, what can you tell us about the early returns? We hear reports Erdogan is leading, but the opposition is saying that that reporting is misleading.
I'd like to start out by saying we knew that this would be a tight race, and although it looks like the incumbent president is currently leading, the projections suggest it will be a lot tighter than we had initially anticipated. And before I continue, I can hear a great deal of supporters in the background celebrating. Of course, it may be too early to celebrate, and the reasoning behind that is there's a caveat that comes along with much of the results that are being broadcasted and made available to the public. Now, it is known that much of the parties actually have a very general idea of who won these elections or whether or not there will be a runoff 2 weeks from now. And the reasoning behind that is a great deal of party supporters were at booths around the country, and they have a general understanding. They have these numbers and this information at their party centers throughout municipalities. So what's really important here now is, as it stands, more than 50% of the ballots have been counted, about 54%, nearing 55%. And right now, the incumbent president is in the lead with 52%. The opposition leader, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, is there second at 42%. And the third candidate is standing still at 5%. This complicates things for a number of reasons. We do expect the third candidate, Sinan Oğan's general results or total tallies to drop over the next few hours. However, what's interesting is Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu is projected to gain anywhere from 7 to 8% more votes, and this could bring the total numbers between the first two leaders close to 50%, and we could see a potential runoff 2 weeks from now.
All right, Yassine Ekin in Istanbul, thank you for that. Alon, let's first note that people were thinking that Erdogan could even lose in this round. He looks like he is maintaining some strong base of support, though it's not clear if that's going to be enough, certainly to prevent a runoff here.
I think that no one of them will get the 50%, okay, but I still think that this gap that was now mentioned of 10% cannot be closed. So I think Erdogan will have the lead versus Kılıçdaroğlu, but I don't think both of them will pass the 50%, so we might see a second round. The reason is that the third candidate surprises with 5.5%, and then if Erdogan wins this round, he has to lead by 6% versus Kılıçdaroğlu.
All right, I believe we have another guest from Turkey joining us, Musa Uçan, author and researcher at MİSAK, joining us from Ankara. And Musa, how do you read the results so far? Are we going to a runoff, or do you think Erdogan may have pulled out a slight victory here?
Well, current results show that we possibly will not see a second tour, which is very good news for Turkey, because there's already a very busy schedule at foreign policy, counter-terrorism, and especially about economy. So both Turkish nation and the markets will be very, very glad if they can see a clear result tonight. So I expect the winner will be Erdogan, and it looks like he is already winning right now.
All right, Musa Uçan in Ankara, thank you for that. Alon, even if the results were that close, a lot of speculation about whether Erdogan would be willing to even cede power. If it's a close race, he can always claim some kind of irregularity and try to hold on. Do you think that's likely?
First of all, it doesn't need as if he will need it, because if they will go to a second round with him having 5% difference, I think he might win the second round too. But I don't think that if he loses, he will do what he did many years ago, several years ago in Istanbul, and challenge the result. It's a different Erdogan, 20 and a half years in power, not in full health, and I don't think he will stick to it and force himself on the Turkish public. It doesn't look at the moment that he will need to do it.
Right, but you do raise another issue, his health, which has been the subject of a lot of speculation, whether he can even continue on for a full term. Is there a success for his movement, his Islamist movement there, or is it really dependent on his own personal authority and charisma?
I think, as I see it, there is a very clear successor that Erdogan will be very happy to pass the power to, and this is his son-in-law, Selçuk Bayraktar, that is not only family, married to his daughter, but is the star of Turkish industry, of Turkish technology, and he is popular because of his own achievements, not necessarily because Erdogan wants him. So there is a possible successor, yes.
But was his views, especially on foreign policy, do they match those of President Erdogan?
Yeah, this is not only family because he married his daughter. The Bayraktar family is one of the most powerful Islamist family in Turkey that Erdogan married into. So there is an Islamist, but with a very modern observation on economy, on technology, and this might be some hope.
All right, well, we'll have to see. But right now, and we don't know the results, we don't know if there was a rundown, but I think we could say President Erdogan is defying some of the skeptics about his chances and retaining power there in Turkey.
I think we can already say, although there are only 55% of the result, that Kılıçdaroğlu will not end as the winner today.
All right.
There might be a second round, but I think that between them, Erdogan will come first, although I'm not sure he will get the 50%.
Okay, Ambassador Alon Liel, thank you for joining us.